Hello everyone. I would like to share two short stories today. The first one is Zhuo Mao and his horse. Zhuo Mao lived during the Eastern Han Dynasty. After Emperor Guangwu ascended the throne, he appointed Zhuo Mao as Grand Tutor for the emperor. Zhuo Mao was tolerant and generous, kind and benevolent to others. When faced with problems, he would rather suffer a loss himself than argue with others. Once, when he was out, someone suddenly approached him and said, "The horse pulling your cart is mine. I lost it." Zhuo Mao asked him, "How long ago did you lose your horse?" The man replied, "Over a month ago." Zhuo Mao thought, "I have been raising this horse for several years. How could it be yours?" Although he thought this in his heart and knew clearly that the horse did not belong to that person, he still untied the horse and gave it to him. The man led the horse away without looking back. He himself put the cart away. After taking a few steps, he turned back and said to the man, "If this horse is not yours, I hope you'll return it to the Prime Minister's mansion." Some time passed, and the man found his own horse elsewhere. So he went to the Chancellor's mansion and returned Zhuo Mao's horse. This little story sounds quite natural, but we see the shining moral integrity of the ancient people. Think about it. In ancient China, a horse was equivalent to a BMW car today. If someone suddenly told you that the car you were driving was the one he lost, would you calmly give it to them, even though you knew it wasn't his? As a result, the man's horse was quickly found, proving true the wise man's saying, "What is yours will not be lost." The man who lost his horse returned the horse, but through this incident, Zhuo Mao gained an advancement in his realm. His noble, selfless, and considerate behavior not only passed on to future generations, but also accumulated infinite blessings for his descendants. The second story is self-discipline and generosity to others. During the Ming Dynasty, there was a man named Guangwu. His parents died when he was a boy, leaving him with a poor life. Later on, he followed his brother and joined the army in Wuchang. Several years later, he became a teacher in a private school. He had a friend named Yang Shihua, who was a talented man but was very poor and often lived in other people's homes. Guangwu showed deep sympathy for his state and recommended him as a replacement for himself in a private school. He himself went far away to find another teacher post, but never complained about the long trip going to work. Another time, a boy of a farmer knocked over a tombstone of Guangwu's ancestor. Many people believed that this would destroy the fortunes of the family, so the guard on watch hastily went to report the news to Guangwu. Guangwu heard it and immediately asked, "Was the boy hurt?" The tomb watcher answered, "No." Guangwu then said, "That's good. He was really lucky." He told tomb watcher to tell the farmer, "Take good care of his son. Do not let the boy be frightened." Guangwu's first thought was the welfare of the boy and how to comfort him. He did not think about the consequences of the fallen tombstone or any negative effects on his family. Guangwu was prime minister in the capital, but he lived an extremely simple life. He did not ride in sedan chairs and only used a donkey to go to work. He liked his donkey very much and personally fed it every day he got home. Guangwu's neighbors had a beloved son in their old age and adored the child immensely. But the little boy cried whenever he heard Guangwu's bringing donkey, which disrupted the whole family. At last, the parents of the child had no choice but to tell Guangwu himself. who promptly sold his donkey and went to work on foot from then on. Once again, we witness the noble morality of the ancients. This seemingly mundane act reveals a heart that cares for others. In other words, no matter how deeply he loved his donkey, if anyone has an objection, he immediately abandoned it. Facing today's society, I once again feel the urgent need to return to traditional values. I hope everyone can cultivate high moral standards, avoid disaster, and enjoy the happiness and well-being of their families. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.